Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to show you how I took this plain black handbag and transformed it into this classic and stylish black and white look. In this video, I will give you guys some tips on how to redesign an old handbag. Before we start, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to my channel where I make more purse transformations like this one. In this video, I am going to be using some white leather paint, more specifically the Angelus brand, and I am also going to be using some Scotch tape. The first thing that I like to do on my purse transformations is always make sure that I clean the handbag, and all that I do is use some rubbing alcohol to just clean the purse and make sure that there is no dirt or anything that can ruin the paint that I'm going to be applying. As you guys can see, this bag is very distressed. It's kind of an old bag. I thrifted it a few years ago. I am going to be painting these areas where the paint is chipped. Because I am painting white, it's going to take a lot more time than normal, but the first step that I am going to do is make sure that I secure the areas that I don't want any paint on. So I am going to be putting something on the hardware, and I am also going to be putting some tape above in the areas that I want to keep black. So normally when I paint a handbag, what I like to do is go on a linear motion. I just like to go in order and make sure that I'm equally distributing the paint. I know it can be a little bit difficult to do that with a very small brush, but I wanted to just use the same brush that came with the paint bottle. Even though it takes longer to paint a handbag by using this really tiny brush, I just think it's a lot easier for me to just control how much paint I am applying into the handbag. And it's really important for me that I don't overuse paint because I am going to need it in those other areas, especially when it comes to painting a handbag from a really dark color to a much lighter color. You are going to be needing several coats. Honestly, you guys, this whole handbag transformation took about 5 coats until the handbag started looking fully white in the areas that I painted. So just keep that in mind when you are buying your paint. It is going to take a lot more. Luckily for me, because I am only painting certain areas, I didn't need to buy several bottles, but it was a little bit of a fear of mine to not have enough paint for this transformation. So I just finished doing the first coat. As you guys can see, the paint does look a little bit messy, and you can definitely see those paint streaks. It doesn't look nice and neat, which is completely fine, you guys. It's not going to look perfect on the first coat. This is why it's going to take several coats for the paint to fully look nice. But yeah, that's pretty much how the first coat looked, and now I'm just going to go ahead and do that second coat, and as you guys can see, it's already looking darker. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I'm not going to be showing you every single coat application in each area, but once again, it took me about 5 coats to do each area, and between each coat I waited about 5 to 10 minutes before applying the next one, just to make sure that the paint was fully dry and I was able to see which areas needed more paint. So now moving on to the front area where mainly I am going to be playing around with some of the white colors. Once again, I want to protect this area right here with this like texture going on. I just wanted to make sure that I kept that texture black because I do think that the design is really interesting. And when you are doing these kinds of transformations and you are trying to change the color of your bag, I would just suggest adding a pop of color in those little areas that you think will make the handbag stand out more. I think this handbag is really pretty. It has a really nice design, so I didn't want to change the style of it. I actually really liked it. I just think that it needed a pop of color in certain areas just to make the purse have a little bit more edge to it. Earlier I told you guys that I was going to help you redesign an old handbag. What I mean by that is just being able to give it a different kind of look or different style, whether it is by adding certain colors to it or adding certain shapes to it by just painting over, you know, certain shapes. There's always a way to get creative with your handbag without needing to be very artsy. You can either do like me and then just add different colors into certain areas, or you can use some scotch tape and get creative and then just do some sort of like linear patterns on your other sides of the handbag. For instance, I could have used some scotch tape, and instead of painting the bottom portion of this purse right here, I could have just added some different lines and maybe done some like white lines instead of just painting it full white. So that's one way in which you can redesign your own bag. Moving on to the last section of this transformation, I wanted to be really resourceful, and so what I did was split the handbag in the middle, and I decided to just paint the bottom portion of the purse. I think this actually came out really nice, and it helped me save some paint. By having this black and white division, I think it really added more style to the handbag, even in those areas that most people would not see. But once the bag was open, you would see this really nice contrast. So I'm pretty much done with the first coat. I'm gonna go ahead and do that second one and show you guys the end result. Okay guys, so at this point I'm pretty much done applying all of the coats. Originally I wanted to have some areas that were all white. I realized that I needed to add black in the borders in order to just be able to pull back from the black that was happening in the center of the handbag. It was my mistake. I thought that it would work, but after adding the black I realized that I definitely needed that in order to complete this look. If I would have known that I would have liked it with the black borders better, I would have just added some tape around the corners and it would have saved me some time, but it worked out in the end. I just had to go back and add those black borders. So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for today's transformation. I had so much fun doing this for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And you guys have an awesome day.